Hi everyone, my name is Alyssa, and I wanted to share with you guys my gastric bypass story. I'm about 2.5 weeks post-op, and the day before my surgery, I weighed 290 pounds, and when I went to my post-op appointment with my surgeon yesterday, I was 268 pounds. During these past couple weeks and before my surgery, I like to watch other YouTubers tell people their story and what they did and things like that. And while I was going through this process these past couple weeks, I've been a little bit disappointed with the amount of people that had the same experience as me. I haven't noticed too much that I need to complain about, but I have had a couple issues with my post-op that I don't really hear people talk about. So I'm going to go over the past pretty much 3 weeks with you guys, pretty much breaking it down as much as I possibly can, and this video is not going to be edited or anything like that, just because I just want to get this out there for maybe someone who's pre-op that wants to know, like, okay, what are the bad parts of after surgery, or someone else out there who's had my experience and doesn't hear many people talk about it. Alright, so let me start with my surgery day. I went in there, and it was about 3 hours that I was back before I came back out to my family, and my family informed me that the surgeon had come out and told them that I had, I think they called it a hiatal hernia or something like that, and it was caused by acid reflux, which I didn't know I had acid reflux. Certainly didn't know I had a hernia of any sort, because when I think about that, I think that those are painful, and I think I would have noticed, but they went in and corrected that. So I don't know if my after surgery pain level was affected by that, or if it was about the same. I don't really have anyone to compare it to. So right after surgery, the day afterward, it was me, and my boyfriend was there with me, and so was my dad. And I was unconscious at first when I came back because I could not keep my eyes open, and that happened a lot. I'd be awake for an hour or two talking with my family, and then I'd be so tired I couldn't keep my eyes open. They had me on a clear liquid diet while I was there, and that's when I really started to notice that my taste buds had changed a little bit. The first thing they brought me was vegetable broth. I had never liked that before. I just thought it was really bland, and it was the best thing I've ever tasted in my life. I don't know what changed, but for some reason that became delicious. And the same with, they brought me a Crystal Light packet of peach tea, and I hate tea usually. Like, I like hot teas, but I don't like cold teas, and this was also, again, one of the most delicious things I've had in my life. It's the only things I really remember about what I ate, other than they brought me chicken broth, which is what I had stocked up on before my surgery, because that was my favorite thing, and I knew I was going to be on liquids, and it tasted like ass. I apologize for my language, but ass, that's all I can describe it. It tasted like ass, and so I felt bad because, you know, I had stocked up on that beforehand, and I wasn't going to drink any of it. I was admitted in the morning on that Monday. I was home by that Tuesday around 6 o'clock. And when I got home, let me go back. While I was in the hospital, I was a little bit bitter. I'd call myself a bitch to my boyfriend, who stayed there with me the whole time. Bless his heart. I don't know why he stayed the whole time, because I was an asshole. I blame most of my bitterness on my nurses. While I was in the hospital, they were very unattentive to me whatsoever. And let me give you an example. There was, at one point, I was laying in bed, and my IV started beeping. Like, the alarm was going off, and I was freaking out, wondering what was happening, because I felt fine. So I called my nurse, and I said, hey, my IV's alarm's going off, what's going on? And they said she would come right in. I watched the clock, and it was 45 minutes, and we still hadn't heard from her. So my boyfriend, who was staying with me, went out in the hallway and found her and said, listen, this alarm's been going off for 45 minutes, what's going on? And she came in, and instead of just shutting it off, she taught me how to shut it off so I wouldn't have to call her again. And before surgery, I had signed a waiver saying that I wouldn't get up out of bed without a nurse. And after the second or third time, I called them to let me get out of bed so I could go pee. They stopped showing up, told me to just get up on my own. And so I would have to unplug my IV machine myself. They had these little, I don't remember what they were called. They were like leg massagers to keep my legs from getting clots in them. I'd have to unplug those myself. I'd have to unplug the IV machine and plug it back in myself. And I was very annoyed by this because, again, I had signed a paper that said I wasn't allowed to, but they just told me to anyway. And they never showed up when I needed them. If I needed pain medicine or nausea medicine, it would take almost an hour before I could get it, and I'd be suffering for an hour or more. So, that's a little bit bitter for those first couple days. Day 2 is when I got home, and I don't really remember much other than I was tired all the time. Never was awake. I would probably wake up for 2 hours, and that's stretching it, being 2 hours, and then I would sleep for 4. And this happened around the clock. I was always tired. I felt like I wasn't getting enough sleep, even though I was probably sleeping for 20 hours a day. But I was up so frequently, it felt like I wasn't sleeping enough. My surgeon didn't have me on a liquid diet pre-op, so my liquid diet started the day before, and it went through my first week. I never hear anyone talk about this, but for me, that was incredibly difficult. It was probably one of the hardest things I've ever gone through. I had broken down crying because there was a jar of peanut butter in my house, and that's all I wanted was a spoonful of peanut butter. And now, your taste buds change after surgery. A lot of people know this. And mine, what it really, really was affected by were sweet things were really sweet, salty things were really salty, things I didn't like before I liked, and things I used to like I hated. I already really went over this, but pre-surgery, my surgeon provided us all with this kit that had 2 different kinds of protein shakes, and it had all my vitamins and my B12 and my calcium for the first month after surgery. They gave me 2 brands of protein shake. It was the Bariatric Advantage, and it was the Nectar. Now, the Nectar, I don't have them right in front of me. The Nectar tastes like toothpaste. I don't know how else to describe that. Every flavor tasted like straight up toothpaste, and I hated it. I couldn't do it. And the Bariatric Advantage ones were really, really thick, like to the point where I felt like I couldn't drink them just because they were so thick. So what I ended up doing for myself is I had, hold on, let me grab it. So I had a shaker, which is this. It has my Kool-Aid in it right now, to be honest. And it holds about 20 ounces of fluid. And what I would do is I would put the protein shake in there. I used the Bariatric Advantage. And then I'd put 8 ounces of coconut milk in here. And then I'd fill it the rest of the way up with water, which helped me get my fluids in. And it thinned it out enough so I could drink it. But, as it happens, because I was drinking 3 of those every day, I ran out of protein shakes really quick. Because they gave me both of them to last me a month. And didn't really work out that way. So I ended up going to Kroger and buying the Jay's Egg White Protein in the chocolate flavor. And that one doesn't mix. I don't know why, but if I let it sit for too long, I use coconut milk instead of regular milk because regular milk just has started to hurt, which I was never lactose intolerant before, but apparently now I am. I use the coconut milk, and no matter how much I shake it, no matter if I've tried putting it in the blender since then, it doesn't work at all. And like there will be little specks of powder throughout it. and it makes it look like the milk is curdled or something, and it looks disgusting. But that first week, getting the liquids down wasn't the problem. Usually a lot of people complain about nausea at that point. For me, it was staying awake. I wasn't ever nauseous. I drank my fluids fine. I was fine during my first day in the hospital, to be honest. But getting my fluids down was fine. It was just I was never able to stay awake long enough to drink a 8-ounce shake. And especially with me cutting them with water so I'd be able to drink it better, I was too tired to finish it. So I'd have to force myself to drink it, and then I'd go right back to sleep. Let's see. About 4 days post-op is when I was really able to start walking. I'd be on the treadmill 30 minutes a day. I wasn't going super fast or really exerting myself at all because I was still in a lot of pain at that point. But I managed to walk every day. So I was right back to work right after 1 week. And going back to work wasn't the hardest thing ever. It wasn't very easy, but I was able to manage. I was really, really tired after work, so I'd go straight back to bed. I slept a lot. And I just had been able to start taking B12, so I had a little bit more energy. And speaking of which, pre-op, I was addicted to soda. I was addicted to everything sugary and fried. And I guess all the fake energy, all that caffeine and all the sugar and all that other stuff had to do a lot with my little crash after surgery. Although a lot of people apparently have the same issue as me. My surgeon had me so that way I couldn't drink caffeine, and I guess this was one of my moments when I really realized how much my taste buds had changed, was when I made myself some apple cider flavored tea that didn't have any caffeine in it. And usually before surgery I'd put a lot of sweetener in it. This time I took some agave, which isn't actually sugar, and I would put like 2 or 3 drops in there, and it was fine. It might have actually been too sweet. And I have little sisters, and when they would come around, they wanted to try it because apple cinnamon tea is their favorite thing ever, which was me too. And she made the most disgusted face, saying, "Did you put sugar in this?" And I said, "I sweetened it. It's fine to me." And she just gave me a really gross look and walked away. So, again, one thing I've noticed, and I know I've said this a lot, is that sweet things to me have become a lot sweeter, or salty things to me have become a lot saltier, and etc., etc. So, let's see, what else? So on my second week, I got to switch to pureed foods, which I'm going to be honest, I wasn't that great about. The only thing I really, really pureed was I would take my regular protein shake, the Jay's Egg White, and I'd mix it with some ice, and I took powdered peanut butter and put that in there too, because like I said earlier, I had been craving peanut butter for weeks, and that made each of those shakes had about 35 grams of protein in them. So I only really had to drink one of those and then have a little bit of chicken later, which is pretty much all I was able to eat that week. Is I had mashed potatoes at one point, and they were good. They just didn't sit right. My surgeon said I could have like grits and things like that, and again, those didn't sit right either. But I made myself a steamed chicken breast, and it was like the chicken tenderloin thing, so they were only about this big, and I could eat almost one of them, and I was done, and I was fine with that. And you know, that got me on the protein during the day. And yeah, week 2 was not bad at all, thank God, because week 1 I was breaking down crying and saying I couldn't do this anymore and how badly I just wanted to eat something. But once I was able to actually get food in my mouth, even though it wasn't what I was used to, I was fine. So I'm in my 3rd week right now, and I switched over to soft foods, and I haven't really noticed much. I went out with my little sisters at one point. I took them out to get lunch, and they wanted Chick-fil-A, and they have their grilled chicken nuggets, which I looked at the nutrition facts for, and I don't remember what, but it had barely any fat in it, no sugar in it, and it had a good amount of protein in it. So I got myself a kid's meal size of that, and I got myself the larger kid meal instead of the smaller one, which was stupid because I couldn't finish it. And I had some fruit, and I've been fine with apples and things like that, but blueberries I can't do, and strawberries I can't do. There's a lot of vegetables I haven't really been able to do this week either, and because I can't eat raw vegetables yet. I can only eat the cooked ones, and not a lot of places serve those, and I've been feeling real lazy. And I guess it's one of those things where pre-op I was the pickiest eater ever, and because I was so picky, I guess my favorite vegetables were like celery and corn, which are the two things that they say after surgery you can't eat for a while. And I didn't really like a lot of vegetables. I liked fruit, but I was very picky about it. I was very picky about everything, and I'm trying to get myself better. I'm really trying my hardest to do everything I can to become a better eater, and it hasn't really kicked in yet, but I'm trying, and I'll keep you guys updated on that. But yeah, other than that first week, my only complaint has been my lips. Now, one thing I've noticed, and I've heard this is really common, I'm always thirsty. Like, I always feel like I haven't drank anything in 3 days. And I can't chug drinks at all. Like, if I take too big of a sip, I get the most intense stomach pain ever. My surgeon said that this is normal and it'll go away, which I'm really glad about because I've been so thirsty. And so this started 2 days ago when my lips started getting chapped. My lips are never chapped. And as you can see, I'm wearing lipstick today, which I don't do ever, but it's because I'm embarrassed by how my lips look. When I woke up this morning, all I could taste was blood, and it scared me because my lips were cracked and bleeding, and there's scabs on them, and they look disgusting right now, which is why I'm sitting away, and I have bright red lipstick on, so you can't tell. I've been using chapstick, but they don't feel like they're getting any better. And I don't know if that's common or not, but apparently the thirst is, and I think that's what's causing it, is because I'm so thirsty. I don't know what's causing it, but I've heard that, or from some of the videos I've seen, some of the other girls and guys have had that same problem where their lips get really chapped around this time, and it's been pretty bad. But so far I don't have any complaints. I switched over to soft foods, which I already went over. I think that's about everything. The vitamins I'm on are the Bariatric Advantage chewable ones, and I thought they were going to be gross because I saw that they were like berry flavored, and any medicine that's berry flavored is nasty, but surprisingly they're really good. They have a little bit of a chalkiness to them, but the taste wise it's really good. And they had me using the Bariatric Advantage, the B12 melts that you put under your tongue, and the only thing I hate about those is that if I talk I get a really bad taste in my mouth, and they take so long to melt. So I take those first thing in the morning, and I don't remember what brand the calcium chews that they have me on are, but they're fine. And yeah, I have no other complaints, but I just wanted to share with everyone. Maybe you're pre-op, maybe you're post-op, maybe you don't even care and you just wanted to look at this video, but I wanted to share what I've gone through these past couple weeks, and I don't know if it really came across as well as I wanted it to, but mostly the first 2 weeks have been very hard emotionally on me, especially with, here's something I forgot. On week 1, I stepped on a scale exactly a week later, and I had lost 12 pounds. And I thought this was an insane, crazy amount, and I looked in the mirror, turned it to the side, and took a couple of pictures, and compared some before and afters. I saw no difference at all, and I thought with 12 pounds I would notice at least a little bit. And some of my really loose clothes weren't fitting right, and it took me a while to really process that was because of the swelling that happens because of all the gas and whatnot that they put in there. But it really fucked with my head emotionally when I noticed that my fat clothes weren't fitting, and nothing was appearing to change, but if I stepped on the scale it was. I guess my only other thing is that I don't count my calories during the day. I don't like feeling like I'm on a restricted diet, because I know that I know I can't eat as much as I used to, and I'm okay with that. I don't need to try to eat more, and I'm not going to force myself to eat calories or anything like that. So the only thing I really count is my protein, and I pay attention to what's in foods now. My surgeon told me for everything to stay under 5 grams of fat and to stay under 10 grams of sugar, and that's what I've been doing. I haven't put anything in that's gone above that limit. I actually cheated a little bit, and I got myself some, it was dairy free, it was reduced sugar, and it was reduced fat ice cream, where it was like 2 grams of fat and 5 grams of sugar in it. And honestly, I was happy because I had been having some sweet cravings, and that a couple spoonfuls of that satisfied it. And yeah, I don't think there's really anything else that I can think of. I will keep you guys updated on everything that's gone on. Again, this video was just to let people know how I think the first couple weeks are. And I'm not trying to discourage anyone from getting the surgery because my experience wasn't that great. But I just wanted to let you know that it's emotional. It might not seem like it's that hard for someone that hasn't been through it, but when you go through it, you realize that it can mess with your head. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Leave a comment if you'd like, if you want to see more videos, or I'll probably keep updating. I can't promise it'll be regular, but just leave some comments down below. Maybe tell me about your experience, because I'd love to hear them. And thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.